Welcome. You're listening to the Bump Podcast, a place for believers of the unexplained, monsters, and paranormal. I'm your host, Bo Kennedy. Join us as we go face to face with what goes bump in the night.
That we're talking about here took place, I'd say it's going on 2 months ago. So it's fairly new, fairly fresh. Um, I have a good relationship with my kid's mother. So, we co-parent very well. I stay the night there from time to time. The kids ask me to stay, and I usually sleep with my son. He's a little fella. So, he's kind of still afraid of the dark, wants to sleep with one of his parents. So, when I'm there, I'll go in his room with them. And this night, I just wasn't feeling it. Like my back was hurting. It's like a kid's bunk bed. So, I do have back problems. Nothing too major, but I like to sleep in my bed. So when I'm not in my bed, my back reminds me of that. And so anyway, it's about say about 2 in the morning. I get up, go to the front room to sleep on the couch, which her couch is very comfortable. So I'd, rather sleep there. Um, they like to have a box fan on at night, and it just helps the kids sleep, even with all the doors closed. It's just one of those houses that, you know, everything is loud. Like I think it's because of the wood floors or, a lot of houses in this area, they're all built the same. So, my grandma lives in the same neighborhood, my mom, all the houses are the same, wood floors. Um, so anyway, I'm laying on the couch and everything's off at this point except for that fan, that box fan. So when I heard the first, knock, I didn't know it was a knock yet. I just knew it was like a, kind of loud sound, kind of aggressive. And the couch is on the same wall facing the neighbor's driveway. So I thought maybe, he was up or getting in his car. I didn't know. All I knew was it was late and that noise is just kind of out of line. Like it shouldn't, it's too late for all that, loud stuff going on. So got up. This time I turned the fan off. So at this point, it's quiet as a church mouse. I mean, quiet, 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 quiet. You could hear, a pin drop, man. It's just almost like eerily quiet. So I lay back on the couch. This time I heard it clear as day. It was an aggressive knock with like a rhythm, like when somebody knocks on your door. So it sounded like that. It kind of startled me. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm on the couch. I'm like, well, what are the kids doing up? Your mind starts trying to rationalize, tries to, a rational explanation of what you just heard, what I just heard. And it almost, in my head, I'm like, because my youngest is 4. He's sleeping with his mom in her room. I'm thinking, did he jump off the bed and is he like jumping up and down, But then I know my kids and I know that's just completely out of character. First of all, they're really heavy sleepers. Second of all, if he did wake up, it's going to be to use the bathroom or he wants something to drink or, it's not to get up and just start jumping in circles around in the room. So at that point, that second knock, I knew something wasn't right. And it felt really, I had that like feeling of dread in my stomach, like, oh crap, like, you know, I almost want to say, like, at that point, I knew it was going to be something that couldn't easily be explained, and stuff doesn't happen to me all the time, like, so I go to her. I consider her my son too. He's like my stepson. I pretty much, you know, I had a hand in raising him since he was about 5 years old. It's her son from another relationship. He's 15 now. He's a big kid. He's a really big kid. So anyway, I went to his room. I wanted to see if he heard it, and he was kind of half asleep, half up. I think his phone was on, his earbuds were in. Anyway, I shook him and, like, hey, and he took his earbuds out. And I told him what just happened. I explained everything to him. I explained how it sounded, and he was just like, "No, I didn't hear it." And I'll be damned, like right behind us, his doorway going into the hallway, as if to say, "Oh, you didn't hear it? Well, listen to this." Right on the floor, in front of the hallway, like right as you exit his room, right there, right in front of us, loud, aggressive. And, like, yeah, his face, his whole demeanor changed at that point. And he was just getting up, he's kind of doing that kind of squinty eye thing. But once that happened, he just, like, looked there and then looked at me, and I just said, "Well, there you are, man." I just, like, threw my hands in the air, like, there it is. And he's just following my lead at that point. Like, I know it's pure instinct, but I just kind of panicky or whatever. But I grabbed, an aluminum bat. I think I handed it to him, and I think I had a kitchen knife in my hand. We passed the kitchen to go downstairs to hopefully find some kind of explanation for this.
Right.
But I knew, looking at his face, his mind shot to something's not right here too.
Yep.
I took my cell phone and hit record, on the video, so it was recording video, and I placed it in the kitchen, which is next to the stairway going downstairs, and the camera's facing up, so it's like, facing you. You could see the cabinet, one of the cabinet doors, and I think maybe a little bit of the ceiling or something. But so at this point, it's just recording all the audio. You can hear us walking down the stairs, creaking loud or whatever. And then, I don't know, about 10 seconds, being downstairs, we're looking up at the floor, hoping there's like a pipe or, a heating duct from the furnace or something. And I'll be damned, right above our heads, where there was nothing there. There was no pipe. There was just, you could just see the slat boards. I did it again. And yeah, at this point, like, I can honestly, I was terrified. I was trying to keep my composure, so as to where he wouldn't be terrified. But at that point, it's just, I think we both were, and we go upstairs, and I grab the camera, I grab the phone, and we're, like, pacing at this point. You could see it in the actual video. We're just pacing back and forth and, up and down in the hallway. And I don't know what we're saying to each other. We're just, like, both, pretty much just terrified. And, next thing you hear is his mom kind of wailing, screaming, shrieking, coming from her room, like, "Oh!" And I knew when I heard her scream like that, I knew it had something to do with that knock. I already knew it before I even went to her room. And I shot back to her room and opened the door, and she's, like, halfway off the bed, like, kind of catching her breath, putting her hand out, kind of as to say, "Just give me a minute," And I'm, like, kind of whispering. I'm like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened," And she's like, "Oh my God, I had a horrible nightmare that something was grabbing me. That something grabbed my neck."